Apple just released the new iPhone 17 Pro Max, and I wonder, is it possible to make it in Lego? Well, let's find out. So first thing I did is go to Apple website and check out the iPhone 17 Pro. And then there was this 3D version of the phone, and I'm gonna be using that as my reference. Okay, so first thing I am going to do is to add a reference image and then find out what the actual iPhone 17 Pro would look like so I can model with it like it's in real life. And after doing a lot of testing, I found out that neon orange and Lego's reddish orange is the best two colors for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Okay, so now we can actually finally begin. For the round edges over here, I have no idea what Lego has that fits, so here are a few rounded pieces that I can actually kind of use. And these two are with studs, and this one is also with studs. But the key difference is the top one has a smaller radius and the bottom two has a larger radius, which will be key for later on. And this is the only rounded plate that is a tile, so that would also be very important for later. And ChatGPT just says it's roughly 1 brick tall, an iPhone I mean, so we can make it at that. And the Plateau, which is this higher, larger area of the phone, it's roughly 1 plate higher than the rest of the phone, meaning we can just add plates on there. As for the cameras, we're just gonna go with 1 more plate. By the way, guys, if you notice, there are a whole lot of exclamation marks on the right side. It's because that piece exactly doesn't have the color that I choose specifically. So this iPhone isn't possible to make in real life unless you choose a different color. And then here I'm making the iPhone's home button, but I found out that if I use the piece that I had been using, then the back screen would actually be orange. So it took me a really long time trying to find the right pieces for this place, and eventually the only solution was to turn this piece into black. Now you would see this as a good thing, but that would mean the rounded corners showing off the home button would be black instead of orange. And now I'm making the back of the screen, and I have no idea why it took me so long, 12 minutes, to actually design the back screen, as it was just filling out the whole thing. At the time, I thought I spent a short time making this, but editing, I found that this was too long. Thankfully, humans have already invented time-lapse. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but my screen recording had disappeared. So you guys just have to watch this picture and listen to me. Okay, so I pretty much finished the back glass, as you can see, the distinct 2-color tone. And I also did the same thing for the button. But this color just looks disgusting, which is why later on I did change it into a much nicer color. Now all I have to do is make the Plateau, which personally is the hardest part. Oh yeah, and did I mention my mic died? Yeah, this piece. And I remember this piece because I was using it in my weekly habit tracker build. And guys, if you want to build some of my Lego builds as seen on YouTube, then you're in luck, because I'm making a Lego instruction database where you get access to Lego instructions made by me. And I've already made the instructions for my weekly habit tracker build, which you can go check out on my website right now. I remember this piece because its name isn't anything like easy to remember. So anyways, I think if I used this piece like that, and then this piece I can use As you can see, not everything went as smoothly as I hoped. Finding out what pieces to use on the Plateau was hard enough, and then I had to change a lot of things about the back glass because I found that there was a space error on it. And then there was also a problem of the curves not being the right pieces, like the LiDAR sensor and the flash doesn't have the stud to be placed, and also the cameras are all off, which I spent a long time trying to fix. Alright, I just found a piece and now this is the piece that I'm talking about. And what's so special about it is that it's not called a jumper plate. But if you search jumper plate, then you would find this piece. And you gotta tell me that these two pieces are the same except one is rounded and one is squared. So first, when I experimented with this rounded jumper plate that's not actually called a rounded jumper plate, I thought it was going to work with the last trick I used, but it did not. And also, I did not like that the LiDAR and the flash were one plate higher, so I bailed the idea. And then the three cameras, the LiDAR, and also the flash were solved with a single piece, and things were going way smoother later on. So the piece I used, it's pretty much just a jumper plate, but not jumpery. So I just put tiles on the sides and then used a single stud on the middle so I can connect it under the rounded anti-stud under the camera pieces. The LiDAR and also the flash were solved the same way. Unfortunately, that means there will be a stupid looking cutout on the top, but I guess I just have to stick with it. Alright, and finally, the phone is done. As you can see, at that time, I still haven't changed the back glass color that looked disgusting, so you guys just have to stick with it. Anyways, I really like how close it looks to the original iPhone 17 Pro. Here you can see as a comparison. The LiDAR and the flash looked a bit closer, but it's the closest to the original that I can manage. I really don't like the cutout on there, but yeah. And I also like that I made the USB-C charging port inside. And actually, in the US version, there is this little rounded stuff on the top for the antenna that looks disgusting, and I did not recreate that because I don't like it, and also it's hard to do so. And at the time of editing this video, I'll probably have a lot of renders, so let's show them.